Catherine, please.
Yeah. So we've got Carol Armstrong.
Yes.
We've got Ryan Briggs.
Yes, here.
Yeah, we've got Stephen Stoddart.
Yes, yeah.
We've got Will Wilkinson.
Present.
Yep. And we've got Linda Williams.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
Excellent.
I'm here.
And we've got Janet King. I always
And we've
get
got
left
Janet
off.
King. Sorry. Sorry, Janice.
And, right. We've got apologies then from Councillor Briggs and Paul and Shane.
Yeah, Sean Melton and Paul Scott.
Yeah, Sean and Paul.
So, Paul's still down at the centre.
Yeah, Janet gave him a ring and he said you were on your way, Linda.
Aye.
Okay.
I'm here.
Just walk back. Are you all right?
Aye.
Right. So before we start, can I just say we haven't met for a while, but I'd like a huge thank you to Amy and Emma. And they've thought well outside the box, I think, in providing us all these activities and that. And a thank you to you, Catherine. You've not only took on the challenge of looking after 25 councillors and staff, but we've all got different ideas and personalities. But you've had a really rough time, and I really feel, thank you very much for what you're doing.
Don't make me cry. I've cried enough.
No, I'm doing it myself because I'm our little ones, as I say. Right, have we any declarations of interest?
I've received none.
None, thank you. And have we got any press of the public?
No.
Thank you. Oh, I've got a voice recognition thing come up here. So I don't know. Wait, I'll try and take it off. It just says something. Okay, I will. It's gone. Oh, God, I don't know what it's doing. I can't see you now. Give us a sec. There we are. Right, agenda item 4, minutes to the last meeting. Can I take them as read and have a proposer, please, for them?
I propose them, Cuddle.
Thanks, Stephen. And have we got a seconder for them, please?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Janet. Right, agenda item 5, the mayor making. Now we've set a provisional, well, we've set the date as the 5th of May, provisionally booked the Carnegie, but I can't see us getting back to normal, whatever normal is in that short time. If we do, that's absolutely fantastic. But we might be able to meet as councillors in the Carnegie and possibly do a live stream for the general public. What's anybody got any views on that, or nobody's saying out? Anybody?
No, who would do it? Who'd be able to do the live streaming?
Well, the Carnegie can do that.
Can they? Right. How would we conduct it, do you think? Would we?
Next year.
Just one at a time, please. Through the chair. Sorry.
Sorry, Chair.
Janet?
Councillor Armstrong?
Yeah.
I don't know what I was going to say now. How would we conduct it? Would everybody, there wouldn't be enough room on the stage, would there? So if you live streamed it.
Sorry, my vision would be that the mayor-elect, the deputy mayor, and of course Catherine would be on the stage.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously when they do the changeover, they do go off stage to change. We probably have somebody to clean all the clobber before you get it back. But then the councillors could parade in either side of the Carnegie and socially distance in the stalls. Do it that way. And I think that's the only way we can, unless we can all meet, hopefully. But I'm a bit dubious of planning that we're going to be out of all this stuff.
I agree.
It's a general thing for us all.
Yeah.
So you're all happy with that?
Yep.
Yeah.
And just as an add-on, I think we should still provide the flowers, only on a down scale. Get Linda Carruthers to do some flowers on the stage.
Okay. Sorry.
And the mayor can take them wherever, the care homes, as they do.
Okay. Councillor Wilkinson has raised a hand.
Councillor Wilkinson.
Thanks, Catherine. Yeah, just to add and reiterate what Janet says, I think we do need to make plans. Obviously, COVID regulations can change that, but I think we need to cast in stone some plans really for the event. We can't sit and wait until. So, as long as COVID regulations allow, yes, I think we should.
Okay.
I'm sure Janet would not like to remain as mayor again for another year, would you, Janet?
I've been very privileged and I think it's a wonderful honour, but I think somebody else needs an opportunity.
Right. Okay, thank you. So that's all being well. Well, we'll work out near the time the best way to do the mayor making, but the mayor making will go ahead. Thank you. The town assembly, agenda item 6. We're planning this on the 21st of April. Now, I can't see this being a Zoom meeting, to be honest, because if we're going to have committees, and there's going to be more than one nomination, I think. So we're going to have the nominations to vote on. We're going to have to vote on committees. The general public, if they want, can come along and ask questions. So I don't know how we play that one. We could use Bridge Street if there's only councillors allowed, because that's big enough. And it's sort of putting a bit of money back into different communities. And Mill Close have got a lovely theatre we could possibly use for that. But I'd like your views on the best way to go, because I don't think a Zoom meeting, I think it would take hours.
Maybe it depends on whether we've all been able to have vaccinations.
Some will, some won't.
I believe we need to continue with our programme of events and let COVID regulate it.
But we haven't got to that yet. But I know what you mean, the town assembly. We'll just plan as if we're doing it. And then
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
decide a week or two before exactly what we can do. Depends what body says, doesn't it?
If we still plan all our events, but have contingency plans.
Yeah, we've got that. They're going to be live streamed. Right.
Sorry, can I just ask, would you like me to book somewhere in preparation for that? Just like as a just as a pencil booking or something?
Yeah. I don't
Anywhere
know.
in particular?
Well, there's Bridge Street in town. I'm thinking of the general public, giving them a central place to go to. But if anybody's got any strong views.
Would Moor Close Community Centre work? Because the sports hall there is quite large. So if you were having to socially distance, that could
Yeah,
work.
that's fine.
Again, can I just make a suggestion? Because it may be that we can't hold meetings in that way, that you might not be able to invite the public in. They may allow councillors to go, but if we couldn't, is there any way that we could have a sort of hybrid meeting where you could have members of the public Zooming and asking questions if they wanted to?
Yeah, Amy's on that, and actually Amy's she come up with that. She said she can let people know and do it by a Zoom.
Yeah, so they could submit their questions in advance, and we could have the meeting filmed as well, so they could maybe watch it live or via Zoom. So as you say, it'd be a hybrid of the two things. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great.
So can you, Catherine, book initially the sports centre for us, please?
Yeah, no problem. I'll do that.
Right, thank you. The next item is the budget. And before you all start singing and dancing, it's a very healthy budget, but I'm very much aware that once these restrictions are over and our theatres can open, we're going to be inundated with Wadhams and Wales and everybody else's. Everybody's going to be coming. So can I just ask you to take the budget as read for now? Yeah.
Well, the one thing I have, Carol, which was brought up at the previous meeting, where it was stated about such an underspend, there is no such thing as an underspend until the end of the financial year.
That's right.
Absolutely.
So the council was being misled by being told we had an underspend.
Yes.
like as you just pointed out, there could be claims coming in from all and sundry who
Absolutely.
could spend this money. So I think we still have a few months to play with yet.
Yeah, thank you.
Can I also come in there? I mean, Paul was saying about the possibility of us not increasing the precept and council tax, so that we.
Can I stop you there, Janet? Because that's F&GP question you're going to ask.
I know it is, but if they decide not to increase it, then that presumably would affect the amount of money that the Culture Committee would
Sorry,
have
can I come in
available.
there, please?
Go on,
Sorry,
Catherine.
can I come in? Right, any underspend that we've got, we won't know till the end of March.
Mhm.
In fact, it's likely to be April sometime that we'll know it. And so it will affect our next year's budget, what we do then. This year, we've got to take it as a normal year, even though we know there's going to be additional monies that we haven't spent, because we don't have a final figure. I would absolutely say that we need to leave it alone. And then if we want to do, if we want to lower taxes and stuff, it's going to have to be next year, because we won't know what that amount's going to be. So we need to be very, very careful about deciding what we want to do with something that we don't know we've got yet.
Yeah.
So that's all I'd say. If we want to make big savings for people, absolutely fantastic, but next year.
Next year.
Yeah,
Right,
thank you.
Thank you. Right, can we go on to the Christmas lights? I think we can all appreciate the lights were really good. I got a lot of feedback from the general public, as no doubt many of you did. The additional ones at the railway station were absolutely smashing, I think. We need to be looking at the next set of Christmas lights and our budget and that for that before long, because if you've got new premises, we'll be wanting to put lights around that and possibly plant a living tree that we can decorate every year. I think that, has anybody got anything that they're burning about the Christmas lights they'd like to say?
Well,
Christmas tree was great.
It was beautiful.
Absolutely. Sorry, Will, Mr.
Will-
Sorry, Will's got his hand
Councillor
up.
Wilkinson.
yeah, feedback, absolute excellent. Especially the western side of town. Lots of questions were asked about it, which I did say to people that it was phase one of multiple phases that we had discussed on doing. And I would like to thank this committee for doing this. And let's hope we can continue the phases to do what we initially set off to do, which is to join the railway station to the centre of town.
Yeah, thank you. We will be having a meeting at some point to discuss all that, Will.
Yeah.
As a one-off meeting, I imagine.
Can I just say something there, please?
Yes.
If that's okay. I just want to thank Amy and Emma, the work that they have put in under dreadful circumstances this year, and how they've managed and how they've done it with such good attitudes and good faith in everything. I just commend them. I'm so privileged to work with them. They're brilliant. So thank you very much.
They've worked the socks off. But I
Yeah,
must
okay.
admit, Amy was really delighted that she didn't have to get up at 5 o'clock one Saturday to do a fund. She was quite happy just to let the lights switch on virtually.
Yeah.
That was quite nice this year, I'm not going to lie.
You did a lie in that Saturday, didn't you?
I did. I must say, yes, our contractors were also fantastic this year. So that's Millennium Quest and Acorn Lighting. And they said it across the country, not everyone's been able to actually get their lights up this year. And they worked really hard to make sure that we were going to have ours. So they did a really great job.
They were absolutely awesome.
If this is a good opportunity, I can throw out, there's a suggestion from the public that I've received for maybe something we can do in the future. So they suggested that they'd like to see more lights around the car park that's near Marks and Spencer's.
Right.
So it's something we'd have to phase in, because obviously it'd be quite a large area to light up. So there'd be quite a big budget consideration. But if it's something that the committee think might be of interest, I can cost it up.
I think that stems from the fact we used to have a stage there, didn't we, at one point? And it
Yeah.
was, we sort of covered the whole town. whereas now we were more, well, we weren't anywhere this year, but we're usually just central. But no, it's all positive. Well done, committee. The VE soldiers, this statue, been the bane of my life. As you know, we set up a working group for this. We were going to pay out the reserves, and we have paid the 25% deposit, and we've spent 6,876, I think, up to press on trees and guards, tree guards and that. We've bought the oak trees and that for Remembrance Way. And we've had a meeting on Monday or Tuesday of this week. Yesterday, was today Tuesday? It must have been yesterday. And we've decided that we'll bring to this committee the proposal that we put this memorial on its plinth at the beacon. And Catherine came up with the fantastic idea of making the beacon a portable one, which we can roll out and start our fun days with, and utilising it rather than it just being there doing nothing, blown in the wind. Obviously, if we put this on a plinth, on this metal pole, it's going to look a bit odd. So Hilary came up with the idea of putting like a tree guard round it, and Alison could put flowers and that, so as it looks as if he's on a much bigger, and it fits in better with the basic landscape and that. So I'd just like your approval on that, please. Anybody?
Very good idea, that, Carol. Yeah, I'd definitely go with that.
Is that okay, Stephen?
Yeah, it
I've
does
never
sound a
seen
good
that.
idea.
I just come in on that one. I don't think the beacon's been used since about 2015. So I think rather than it just standing there as an ornament, which is what it wasn't brought to be, I think anything that we can do to utilise it is a good idea. Because at the moment it's just an
Yeah, I was actually the last mate to use it, and I can't remember what we used it for, but it costs a lot of money to light that beacon as it is, because you've got to get a cherry picker to get up there and one thing and another. Whereas if we have a portable one, I think it makes sense. And then we have a party in the park, we can just roll it out and the mayor can light it, and that I think it'll be really good. Give us a bit more oomph with the community.
Worthington Town's Olympic flame.
Oh, there you go. Awesome. It's something we could light when we're over this COVID and have a big celebration.
Yeah.
So Stephen's proposed that we accept that. Can I have a seconder, please?
I second it.
Thank you. The next one's the events, isn't it? And we've got the proposed events for 2021. I think that some of these will be able to go ahead, but I don't think some of them, we maybe have to roll them over. But you've got a plan there. Can I ask if anybody's got anything they'd like to say on it, or
Can I just come in, Chair? Just the one thing, I've said lots of times actually, but the umbrella decorating workshops, not very environmentally friendly because the umbrellas go straight in the bin, and I'd suggest, I don't know if it's possible to get cheap paper ones, but if we could use those instead and not use plastic glitter either. So just so it's out there.
No problem.
That's
I've had
something
a chat.
you can take, yeah, you can take that to Angela, Amy, and ask.
Yeah,
I'm
we had
sure
some
she'll think
initial
of something.
chats. Yeah, so I'll
Yeah.
come back to the committee once we've got a better idea of how all that's going to work. But yeah, I think you're right. We do need to look at something more environmentally friendly.
We've got the events report, and that's just a list of what's happened, and that I think it's commendable to you and Emma what you've done. I think it's fantastic. Then we've got, sorry.
I'll give an update with regards to events.
Yes.
Things we have discussed previously with regards to COVID monument. The RAF engineering have a new project manager. She has touched base with both me and Alison. The update now is that the monument should be, they've had word from the suppliers in China, and the monument should be ready for completion, the way things stand now, round about the 15th of March. So that's something that we really need to bring into the event calendar, which will, as we get closer, we'll get definite timings on when it will be ready. There is a meeting being arranged between the RAF's project manager, myself, and Alison for the get up to speed on everything that's going. But so far,
can I ask you, Will,
yeah,
that at our next meeting you come with an update on how far we'll put on the agenda as a specific item to discuss?
yes, that's what I was going to lead to, Carol.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks very much. We've also got the optional extras. Things on there. Yeah, sorry.
I'm sorry to be a real nuisance. I know I am.
Yeah.
Can I go back to the roundup of activities? First of all, I wanted to say, I know everyone's already thanked Amy and Emma and everybody, but it's just amazing the amount of stuff that's on here that we take for granted, really. It's taken an awful lot of organisation, and there's so much there. And I think it's been a wonderful thing during this time of COVID that we've had so much activity and sort of proactive stuff from the council.
Yeah.
But, can I make a couple of comments on there? It says about Friends of Vulcans Park. And I have thought, when I'm going around the park, the posters are there about it, but they don't actually say, and I know you haven't got room on a poster, don't say what that will involve. So what would volunteers actually be doing if they become a friend of Vulcan Park?
Yeah, there's two versions of the poster, so I'll maybe check which one's up at the moment, because there is one that has a list of the different things that they can do. So to be a friend of the park can involve actual hands-on work doing gardening activities, or it can be doing fundraising, or just coming along to meetings when we're allowed to have them, to come up with ideas for events and activities in the park. So we pretty much would match up an activity to somebody's skills and what their preference is to do, really. So it's pretty broad.
Sorry, Councillor Harrington had a comment.
Councillor Harrington.
Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've disappeared from somewhere. What I'd like to say on that one, Janet, is
I'm so sorry, I've got somebody at the door. I'm really sorry, can I answer it?
Yeah, so off you go.
Sorry.
There's the dog gone as well.
I'm sorry, Janet. No, you can't come back.
No, she's gone. That's it. She's missed. She's lost it.
Hillary, could I ask you a question at this moment in time? Would the Friends of Vulcans Park not also have one foot in your committee?
They'll actually, there would be in Hillary's committee that it wouldn't be a cultural. It is Hillary's committee.
Yes,
but there's a couple of things in there that are Hillary's. The dog fowl and that. Sorry, Hillary.
it's okay. You're fine away. I was just.
There's two or three things in that. I thought Hillary was going to catch Janet and tell her that.
Yes.
Sorry, what was that?
But a lot of this now depends. The Friends of Vulcan Park is the development of Vulcan Park itself, helping with the garden, helping with the tea rooms, helping with various things that we decide to go ahead with. Basically, it's
more environment. If you look through the list,
yes,
there's a few things that are environmental rather than culture, Janet.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, sometimes our duties overlap with Environment Committee slightly, because me and Emma work on In Bloom as well. So sometimes the two things overlap.
Crossover. Just for me, and I think it's Emma's this, but Amy will know the answer. This sensory trail, what will that be like? What would that be?
Yeah, so this is something I just stumbled across recently, that's been done elsewhere, and it's the idea that you put together a trail in a park, and it only needs to be a short distance, and you give children and young people different activities to do at each point, and you try to make it accessible by appealing to different senses. So it means that children from all sorts of backgrounds can take part. It's particularly appealing to young people with autism because you can tailor the activities to all abilities. So it's something I would need to research to see how we can implement it, but I think it would be something interesting to do for Vulcans Park.
Fantastic. That's a lovely idea. Right. Has anybody got anything else they'd like to talk about these?
Yeah, just one. I'd like to ask Amy. Amy, we discussed previously about running competitions, stone painting. Is there any update on that? With regards
There was
to the
this
COVID monument?
for the COVID monument.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no update as such, but I can run it at any time. So now that we've got a date in mind, if you like, we can start talking about it now. Because if we're thinking that the statue is going to be installed in March, that gives us something to work with when we're communicating with the schools or to young people. We can say, look, the monument's going to be installed in March, and we can start painting the stones now, if that sounds all right.
Yeah, could arrange a meeting between yourself, me and Alison then for to sort that out. Alison being the key groundworker, you know, within the project and doing all the groundwork. So
Yeah, that's no problem at all.
yeah, no problem.
The thing is, you've got to remember the schools are off now till March.
Yeah, so we'll do it directly through social media and all that.
You'll have to sort them.
Yeah, we'll find a way.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. Right, the last agenda item then is this grant application, which came in from the rugby for the solar panels. They're asking for 7,500. Now, just for clarification, we've got 12,000 in the budget, and we've only spent a fraction, about 700 or 800 of that at the moment. I'm not saying we should give them it. I'm not saying we shouldn't give them it. That's up to you to decide. But if we do support it, I wouldn't feel happy just sending them a cheque now. I'd like it to sort of coincide with the fact that they've got the rest of the funding. So can I have anybody's ideas? Or
I agree with that. As I say, Carol, I agree with what you just said.
okay, so can I ask you, you propose that?
I propose we hold back. We agree to a certain. I don't agree to the 7,000.
So we'll discuss that. But you agree to
Hold back until they've got the full amount. Yes.
right. So can I ask? Because the whole amount is 23,000, exactly £432.43. Don't know where that come from, but so what are we saying? We should give them. What would anybody like to propose that we, as a sum?
I don't propose an amount. I actually think it needs more looked into, and I thought that's what Hilly was suggesting, that we keep it on the back burner at the moment in time, but with a view to approving some grant. I think we need some more information on this.
You've got it's all in front of you in the grant. I don't think there's anything else they can do. We've had it since, I know it came in late for the last meeting in November. We couldn't put it on the agenda. And I suppose because you've only just got it tonight, we could put it on the next agenda and discuss it there.
I propose, because of the late arrival of it, we haven't had sufficient time to study it.
I agree with you.
Okay, that's fine. That's okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, what
Yeah,
we'll do
I agree with that
is
as well.
we'll defer it. Ryan, Mr. Councillor Briggs, yes?
Yeah.
We'll defer that and put it on the next agenda item then. So
Can
Yeah.
I just say, I've had a quick look through, and it's for like a capital item rather than for sporting activities or anything.
Yes.
So is that something we could actually fund? We might be able to fund sporting stuff, but I don't know about. What's anybody else's thoughts on that?
but we'll ask Catherine, because she's supposed to be our expert. So we'll ask you, Catherine, what do you think? Can we support?
I think we can actually look at it as supporting them under an environmental measure, because we're not actually buying a building and we're not buying a piece of equipment. What we're doing is we're looking to make
Isn't it for the
themselves
solar panels? Sorry.
Sorry, I
The
didn't
solar
catch that, Janice.
panels.
Yeah, the solar panels, it's an environmental investment,
It's
isn't it? What I
equipment.
can do is I can have a look and see what our
Mm.
stance is on that kind of thing, because
Yeah.
I don't think we've actually been asked that before. Not well, we haven't since I've been here anyway,
No.
but I'll find out if it's
And,
something
and,
we
and
can fund.
possibly if it is an environmental, then it can go on to, not this one, but obviously the next agenda.
Yeah,
So these
exactly.
are-
Yeah.
Go on, Hillary, for mine.
I was just
These
going to
are
suggest
all-
that, Carol. It goes on the Environment Committee meeting. And
Yeah.
we take a little bit more into the
Just
investigation.
a,
really going
just a
on.
quick, just a quick question as well. Does anybody know that if there's any government grants for solar panels and things like that, like renewable energy?
There is renewable energy grants through the offshore projects of this Robin Rig. That if they will go down, I don't know if they've been down that route, if that's what they're going for the rest of the money from, I haven't a clue. And maybe we could ask one of our officers to check it up and find out just if they have done that.
Carol, on this one, there is grants out to the community by community grants. I've got the telephone number. I'll give it to you, Ryan, where you can get all the information, where you can apply for grants. There's Robin Rig, there's all sorts of things. There's the lottery, if you like, rather than, you know, because it's such a large amount of money, this.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if they've gone down that route rather than just coming straight to us out of a culture budget.
Well, that's what they have done. I think they have just come straight to us. Possibly if Councillor Harrington would like to pass that information on to the town clerk, I'm sure one of the officers and that can maybe phone them up with them details.
Yeah, I'll investigate it, Carol, and have a look at what it is they're actually doing, who they've asked for funding, and why they haven't already looked at solar panel
And then
funding,
I can
because it
go-
is out there, because that's something I'm looking for our new building. I've got a meeting with somebody in a couple of weeks about it for our new
Brilliant.
building. Yeah.
Fantastic. Right then, that's us done. Just a big thank you to everybody for turning up. I won't say have a safe journey home like I usually do, because you're already there. So
Might
I'll
fall off the chair.
stay safe and take care, everybody.
No,
Thank you
thank you
very
very much,
much.
Carol.